in here. And I just
there we go. We live.
We're live. Hello, everyone. Whatever. I'm not gonna say what just happened, but this is Sarai. Hello, champions. We are here today. Sarai, Billy Alsbrooks. We're here to talk to you about the upcoming event, Blessed and Unstoppable tour that's gonna come first to Miami. Billy Alsbrooks did his tour starting last year, but this year he's continuing it, and Miami, we're blessed to have the first event here, and that's going to be on January 24th in downtown Miami Hilton. And today we're going to give you a little taste of what's going to be happening that day. And let me just introduce myself. If you guys haven't met me before, my name is Sarai Nammur. I'm a licensed mental health counselor in the state of Florida, and I founded a community mental health center here and Circle of Champions worldwide as well. My passion is helping people turn their pain and adversity into their triumph and helping people thrive. That's what I do every single day of my life. And Billy Alsbrooks does the same exact thing through his motivational speeches and everything that he does that you're going to get to know a little bit more about today if you don't already know him. But Billy, I'm going to let you introduce yourself to everyone out there and say more about yourself. Everyone knows you, but there's so much to say that I'd rather you do it than for me to mess it up.
I'm a motivational speaker, motivational artist, poet, and author. And I am completely passionate about seeing people go from average, ordinary existence into greatness, watching that transformation and being a part of that. My ultimate goal, my legacy goal is to impact 1 billion people in a positive way, and every day I get up and grind in order to do that. And I'm really looking forward to Miami, January 24th. We're gonna kick off the tour this year. We had a big tour last year, even during COVID. We never stopped. But this year we come in order. We're going to 27 cities this year. Bring this seminar, man, and I'm gonna just give the world this awesome information to help people grow into what they were truly designed to be. We're going all over the world this year. We in 5 different countries. We're going to be, of course, in the U.S. all over, and then we're going to Toronto, London, Paris, and Rome. So 2021 is going to be the year. We're going to go to the next level. So God is good. But we're really excited. We're going to kick off this thing in Miami, January 24th. And as she mentioned earlier, we got some banging, awesome, powerful speakers that are going to open up. And I'm just looking forward to it so much to get this year started off the right way.
Yeah, 𝐿𝐑𝐄𝐂𝐓, we're so lucky we get it in Miami first. I hope to see you there. All right, so let's get started. Let's give them a little taste, because we are going to be talking about the art of greatness and what does greatness really mean to like everyone out there. So like what I was writing about today was, for me, greatness is being truly all of you, being which what you call it is fire, truth, music, which is, you know, living in your fire, in your music and in your truth, right? And that's the same way I see it. I don't think anyone could really be great when they're being something other than 100% themselves. So Amen. What is, and I think like in that way, and by being 100% you, then that's when you could truly bless everyone with what you have to give. What is your definition of greatness?
Greatness is the mastery of the basics and whatever you're doing in life, whatever field you're in, whether it's relationships or whether it's, sports, business, whatever. It's the mastery of the basics and the consistent display of that mastery. That is what greatness is. And, a lot of people ask me, do I feel like everyone is capable of greatness? And the answer is yes, because greatness made us. Greatness is on the inside of us because greatness made us. So yes, every single one of you out there, whether you know it or not, whether you've been told it or not, you have greatness in you and you are capable of tapping into that. You just have to understand that it's in you first. You have to buy into that first and know that you don't have to live an average existence. You don't have to live just common, everyday, lukewarm. You can taste the fire. You can taste the next level. You can taste and drink success if you want it bad enough. That's the question.
Woo. You can taste the fire. So I wonder, like, everyone out there, like, what is your greatness? What is your gift? Because to me, like, greatness is like, what is that special, unique thing that you have to give? And like for you, I think your greatness is in your tongue. I think your greatness is in, like, you deliver your fire truth music is all like in your words, and you were doing it before in a different way, and now it just evolved into just a way that you could have greater, more significant impact. When did you discover that? When did you discover that when did you transform this and start doing it this way?
For those that are watching that don't know me, for 17 years I was in the music business as a rap artist, songwriter, music producer. I produced for Gold and Platinum acts all over the country, had songs on Billboard, had my own radio show. And at this point in time, I was experiencing a high level of success, but I wasn't all the way truly in the center of my call. And I was close. I was behind the mic. I was speaking. I was writing. I was doing these things, but I wasn't completely in the center of my call. And the center of my call is what I'm doing now: motivational art, impacting lives. And I didn't discover that until after going through trauma. My father passed away in front of me unexpectedly, which caused all kinds of mental struggles and warfare that I had to go through. PTSD, panic attacks just completely engulfed my life and robbed 7 years from me. I literally gave 2,500 days away of my life to fear. I went from being on stage in front of 20,000 people with a mic in my hand, rocking, to being in my bedroom for 2 weeks at a time, scared to come out because this fear just came over me from the trauma that I experienced. So I had to go through this 7-year period. But inside that trial and tribulation, if somebody needs to hear this now, inside this trial and tribulation, I found seeds for greatness. And every trial that you go through, there was a seed in it, a lesson in it, a key in it that will unlock something in you to take you to the next level if you look for it. Now, everybody in life in one time or another is going to go through struggles, going to go through trials, but the difference is how we respond during these trials. And, it wasn't easy, man. It was the worst time of my life to go through this 7-year battle. I lost everything. I had all this money put up, and every single day going through these, panic attacks just taking over my life, and not being able to work and function normal at all. I could do maybe 30 minutes of work and then I'd have a panic attack. So it just completely ruined my life for 7 years. But during that time, man, it molded and shaped me. I found God in this moment. I found myself in this moment. The turning point, I think, why I discovered this, I had gotten an invitation to teach this Monday night men's group at church that I was attending. I started going to this men's group on Monday night back in 2009 when I was going through panic attacks, and I needed like the support group, people around me that were good to, sow life over me going through this struggle. And I got asked to actually teach one night back in 2014, 15. I don't know the exact year, but I think it was 2015. I got asked to speak for the first time on a Monday night, and I was hesitant. I was like, no, I'm not a pastor, I'm not a teacher. I rap, and that's what I do, and that's all I've ever done. But I'm not, getting up there for an hour and a half with no music in front of a podium and speaking to people. Like I was just, just like most people, scared to speak, and the fear, anxiety that comes from public speaking. Yeah. And but the guy kept on persistent, begging. Come on, we need you. I can't be here on Monday. Can you please fill it? So finally, he overcame me. So I said, okay, I'll do it. So when Monday night came, I got up there nervous and everything, and I got up there, and the first things I said out of my mouth to the audience that was there was, "God still moves," and it was like a switch went off of me, an ignition went off in me, and boom! It was like this passion that had always been in there, that had been waiting to come out, all of a sudden awoke. And man, I rocked that thing for 2 hours. There was no fear. As soon as I said God still moves, all the fear was gone. And it was like, man, I had found my home. I found the center of what I was put here on earth to do. And man, we rocked for 2 hours that night. On Monday night at church, people don't stay for 2 hours. And we rocked every minute of that thing. And I was like, oh, this is something different, but I didn't really understand the gravity of what was about to happen because I wasn't doing YouTube. I hadn't written a book or anything like that. It's just 15 people in a men's group. But see, here's the thing. Because a lot of you out there, you got to understand that be faithful and good stewards of the small, and that will qualify you for the big. Had I not, taken the responsibility and accepted that small thing, that 15 people assignment that I had that night, I wouldn't be sent out to the world now to reach billions. You know what I mean? You have to do the small. And when we're a good steward of the small, God will continue to bring us more and open up more doors of opportunity. Sometimes we want it too fast. We want we want to be in the NFL. We haven't even finished high school. We have to, own where we're at and be good, faithful stewards of that. And like you said before about the greatness, and as I mentioned about the definition, we have to master the basics. And as we begin to master those basics, more opportunities will come for us to do our craft. And 2015, that was my turning point.
And it's funny because you still do that when you go. The 2 times I've seen you on stage, you walk in going, "God still moves."
That's right. That's right. Because
then the building shakes. And I'm like, "What just happened?" No,
amen. Well, my struggle was so severe with the panic attacks. I mean, I was at the verge of just ending everything because I had tried 7 years, everything they told me to do, therapist, medicine, counseling, ministering, everything you could imagine to get over, these panic attacks and this PTSD and to get my life back. Nothing was working. But one day, I was out on a prayer walk. I used to go on these prayer walks every night because I was just, alone and seeking God. Like, you got to help me because I've been trying everything that I've been doing. It's not working. So I was at the bottom of me. So I turned to God. And one day out on the block, I cut a deal with him. I said, I've tried everything that I know, and I've done everything that everybody else has told me to do to get over this. It's not working. I was like, if you don't help me here, I'm done because I don't know what else to do. I've done everything. I've given 120% for my recovery and for healing to get my life back. And I'm just not capable of doing it. This is bigger than me. And I need you. And I don't have anything to give you, Lord, at this point, because everything had been taken away. So I cut the deal. I said, look, if you heal me, the only thing I can do is I can go out. Once you do, go out and tell the world who did it. That's the only gift that I got that I can give you right now. And that's all God really wanted anyway. Because at the end of me, I found me and I found him in that same place. So sometimes we have to get to the bottom of us in order to look up and go to the top of us. Right. And on that block, I found it, and he ignited and he honored that prayer that I said and began to slowly. It wasn't like overnight because some people, you need to hear this. Sometimes it's going to take a while. Even when, God comes and intervenes, you're still going to have to win the day. Every single day, you have to put some victories together and get stronger as you go through this journey. And that's what I had to do. But every time I go out now, as you mentioned, like in these seminars or on this, platform that you're giving me here or on YouTube, I'm always going to let them know who delivered me from that thing. I'm never going to honor that promise that I made to him. I'm going to let everybody know that God still moves and that I could do nothing on my own. I already proved that because I couldn't overcome that. So I'm not going to sit here and take credit for him. So everything that comes to me now, I make sure I point up and tell them that God did it. God still moves. And if you listen to my videos, at the very end, I say, to God be the glory. That's to honor that promise.
Yeah, you always do that. And I want to go back to something super important you said, because I think it went through so fast that I want people to grab it, because you said you gave up, you did the math. You said 2,000, how many days?
2,500 days, 2,500 days, because I was literally cooped up in the house for 7 years. You figure 365 days, so I'm 7 years. It was roughly 2,500 days that I lost. Just completely.
Exactly. And the fact that you lost it due to the panic attacks and the anxiety and really not feeling helpless to it, and sort of like, it wasn't like, I know that you're like a warrior, so you're not just gonna just give up your days, but it happened because it was so powerful what you were going through. But I want people out there to think about, like, what is it that you're giving your days up to? Like, what are you giving your days up to? What thoughts are you giving your days up to? Who around you, what people around you are you giving up your days up to? Because when you give up your days, what you're doing in effect is giving up your greatness, and you're giving up your opportunities to really bring out your best and impact the people that you're meant to serve. Because if we're here on planet Earth, we're here to do a job, and there are people that each of us have been assigned to impact, serve, change, whatever word you want to use. So I want everyone to really think about, like, that. I love how you always say that, and it makes so much sense when you say it that way. Like, what are you giving up your days to? And then the other super important thing that you said is, like, win the day. So when you're giving up your days, let's say it's something like a mental health thing that's happening, like the panic attacks or fear, which is panic is still the same thing. try to win the day, like what you were saying. If we overwhelm ourselves by trying to win the year.
Right,
try to win the year one day. We try to climb the mountain and we haven't even gotten close to the mountain. And that's the part of where you're saying, like, do the little things. So like break things down into smaller pieces that you could feel the progress and you could win that little piece. And that way it also minimizes that anxiety that stops us dead in our tracks, you know? Hey, Sam, you're always agreeing with me.
There's two sayings, there's two quotes that I say regarding what you just said there. For one, I say success is just a long list of today's done right. So we just have to master today. That's it. Like just own the day. Get up from the moment you open your eyes and dominate to the moment you close them. You do that enough, and you do that every single day, and eventually they start calling you successful. That's all it is. The second quote that I articulate and spread as I go out to these seminars. It's actually the first quote in my book, Blessed and Unstoppable. It's success is a marathon of consistency walked out one day at a time. We got to walk it out one day at a time. As you said, we can't live a year today. We can't try to do a year's worth in today. Now, God can do multiplication and thrust us to promotion a year's worth in one day. As they say, one day of favor is worth 10,000 days of labor. God can do it. But as far as us on the physical existence, we have to take it one day at a time, and we have to abide by the laws of his establishment, which is get up every single day and just own the day. Like with the panic attacks, I couldn't go, a couple of hours without having one. So when I think like, am I going to make, even looking at the whole day became too much when I was in this kind of trauma. I would just break it down into 30-minute, 15-minute intervals. Can I just get by 15 minutes without having a panic attack? Can I get control of my mind for 15 minutes? That's all. And then if I have a panic attack after that, that's cool. But I'm going to get 15 minutes in that I'm going to own today. And then when those 15 minutes would come, then I'd say, okay, I'm going to do another 15 minutes. And slowly I would start to win, portions of the day and start claiming back what the enemy had taken from me. Some of you right there trying to build a dream, and you're trying to build it, a year's worth in one day, and it's just not going to happen. The bigger the dream, the more you must break it down in small, manageable pieces, as she mentioned.
But also, if you were able to overcome multiple daily panic attacks, like I don't even want to hear excuses from anyone else.
Exactly.
Multiple daily panic attacks. You're just an example of what's possible for anyone out there that might be going through whatever they're going through, and they think, I'm never going to be able to do it. I don't have the strength. It's never going to stop. But you're an example of someone that you know what it is to have daily multiple panic attacks daily for years, 2,500 days that you were saying. And now look where you're at. Like you're just hope for you represent hope. You represent hope for everyone. And you're saying he's giving you like keys right now, like consistency. Walk it out like consistently every day. Don't look at the whole mountain. Do it like piece by piece, 15 minutes get through every 15 minutes of the day. Conquer the day from the beginning. Like you're really giving them a lot of Elke says he's a true inspiration. That's my cousin, but
Thank you, Elke. God is good. God is good. I always say this. I keep it real. I'm not the Ron Howard happy day type of motivational speaker. I keep it real because the struggle is real. So I'm not going to get up here and say everything's just going to be easy and you can do it, because I know that's not reality. It's going to be warfare. When you set out to do something big, something great, when you start pursuing the calling that God put on the inside of you, there's going to be warfare. Wherever you can grow, thrive, or multiply, the enemy is going to attack. Expect it. So we expect the warfare. But let me tell you this, the struggle is real, but so is the God that'll help you overcome. And I'm proof of that. And I'm not special. God will do what he did for me, for any one of you that believe in him and trust him for it, that will step out in faith and say, enough is enough. I want my life back, or enough is enough. I'm not living this lukewarm, average existence anymore. I'm going to step into who God called me to do, and do what I'm capable of being. That he will bless that. The only language spoken in heaven is faith. So if you want that connection and you want that relationship with him, you just got to breathe that faith into whatever it is. And you say, I believe you, Lord. I trust you. I trust that I am fearfully and wonderfully made by you. And when you buy into that, then doors and opportunities start to open for you that wouldn't have opened otherwise.
Man, who felt that?
God is good.
That? Like that was passionate. Well done.
God is good.
The glory says Jeremy. So you broke down. You want to go into you broke down the word champion, and you do that. you broke down the word champion. I'm gonna let you roll with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a longer message on this, like a full in-depth message on YouTube coming soon. But today I just want to break it down to some small talking points here to help you real quick. If you want to get a piece of paper out and a pencil, just this a little bit, we're gonna give you right here is the blueprint. This is the blueprint. I'm gonna lay out the laws of success real quick, just inside the word champion. Circle of champions. It's real simple. Now, this will stir you and make your 2021, your 2021 the best year ever if you tap into these. Now, C, the first letter in champion is commitment, right? And I wrote down here, success is available to everybody, but not everybody is willing to commit to doing what it takes to make it a reality. Now, my question for you here with this step is, what is your commitment level? What is it? And is it strong enough? Is it strong enough to produce the life that you desire? Because, every life that you desire, every level of success, every goal has a commitment level required in order to achieve it, in order to make it come into reality. What is your commitment level to it? I wrote down here too, this awesome quote by Abraham Lincoln: commitment is what transforms a promise into a reality. Come on. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Now, this one here too by Vince Lombardi, very, very profound and powerful. He's one of the most successful coaches of all time. And it says the quality of a person's life is in direct proportion to their commitment to excellence, regardless of their chosen field of endeavor. See, it's all about commitment. What is your commitment? And I say this in videos, how bad do you want it? That's the question. Nothing can be denied. The one that won't be denied. The question is, how bad do you want it? So I want you to start asking that question right now.
Yeah.
How bad do I want it?
Because it's easy to be committed when things are easy and things are good, right? But you got to stay committed when it's a rainy day, when you don't feel like getting up, when someone just annoyed you so bad that right. You got to stay committed. It's all of, I think everything you're about to say, we're talking about the days you don't want to do it, because that's commitment for me means that, like, doing it even when you don't want to, even when you don't have the energy. And someone out there, Elke, because I see you typing away, why don't you write up like what each letter means? C is commitment. Put that. We're gonna lose it.
Here's something. Here's something too. With the commitment level, the champions, the ones that go to the next level, they move off of emotion and onto a standard. That's what makes them great. Like the common person, well, I don't feel like working out today, or I don't feel like taking this shot, or I'm scared I'll fail. They let these things, the emotional things, hinder their actions and what they do. A person who goes to the next level has a standard in place that regardless how they feel, it doesn't matter if you feel good or not. If you're a champion, you get up and you go work out. If you're an entrepreneur, you get up and build that business every single day, because there's going to be days when you just don't feel like doing it. Everybody has those days, but what separates the common person from the one that goes to the next level is what happens when those emotions arise. One is living by emotion and the other is living by a standard. And if you want to go to greatness, you got to get off emotion. There's a place for emotion, but you got to stop making 95% of your decisions off of emotion. You understand? There needs to be a standard that dictates that. Now, the second letter in champion is an H, and it's about habits, right? Now I put down here, it's your daily habits and rituals that give birth to victory in life. See, it's your faith that will put the dream in orbit, but your habits and daily rituals and your discipline that will keep that dream in orbit. See, exactly. You can only go as far as your habits and your daily rituals. Success must be scheduled. Is your daily structure set up for success? If I look at your daily routine right now, I can see if success is built into that or not. You've got to look at it and say, hold on a second. Am I doing everything in my life on my schedule that means nothing to me? And I'm just going through emotions all day, just doing activities and staying busy? Or am I doing things that are actually going to produce the kind of life that I want? You got to ask that question. And right now, I want to ask you this question. What area of your life are you least disciplined in right now? We've got to change that in 21 if you want to go to the next level. What level must you bring that area up into of discipline in order to become that which you're capable of doing? Right?
He's asking you guys that because I'm not answering.
All right. The third letter in champion is A, and it stands for association. Who are you surrounding yourself with? See, there's some people in your life, if you're trying to go to the next level, there's some people in your life right now that don't belong. That's the question for you. Who in your life right now does not belong? Ooh, stop for a second and think about that. Who in your life right now? Who's the biggest threat in your life right now to your dream? And some of these people might be family members. I'm being real. You're gonna have to deal with them on an everyday basis or on holidays or whatever. You're gonna have to guard your mind because these people, you know, sometimes they have good intentions, but they will trample all over your dream, right? I mean, you gotta be diligent and aware of, you know, who you're surrounding yourself with. I have a motto: only surround yourself with the sick and hungry. People that are sick and tired of being average and hungry enough to do something about it. If that's not in their motto, if that's not in their standards, that's in their heart, I really have to limit access to them, to me. I can't let them in my life like that, because if they're in my life too long, that will start rubbing off. The truth seeks to spread, you know, and so does mediocrity. Mediocrity is the biggest plague. Average is the biggest plague that has, you know, killed dreams of champions for thousands of years. It's not COVID that we should be worried about. It's mediocrity. Come on, that's more likely to kill you than anything.
And what do you think about, like you said, standard, right? You were saying like have a standard, but I think that I want to know your opinion. I think that's an area where we don't have to have such a high standard in that area, as far as like everybody doesn't have to agree with us. Just because we want people to agree with us, we don't have to have a standard where, oh, well, everybody has to agree with us, because that's just like hurting us and robbing us of our energy. So what do you think about that? Like you don't have to fight with them or disown them.
You got to put your war council together, okay? And the war council needs to be balanced. You need some people that are gonna exalt and encourage and inspire you when things are rough. You're gonna need some people to come in and say, "Man, I'm gonna stand by you. I'm gonna sow life over you. You can do it. Keep fighting. Don't quit." You need these kind of people, but you also need that other person over here who's got your best interest at heart, but will give it to you straight. What I call that true part of fire, true music. Somebody's just gonna keep it real. You know, real is what unlocks greatness. You got to be real. You got to be real with yourself. If you can't be real with you, how are you going to be real with the world? And how do you expect the world to be real with you, right? So we got to start, you know, getting around people that are real, man. This, you know, which is rare these days. Real is rare. Real is rare these days. So if you got a real person, man, hold them tight and keep them in your counsel. And maybe you're not going through the struggle right now, but let me tell you this: you need to prepare for it right now. You need to put your inner circle together. If the war in your life was to jump off right now, whether it be in your health, spiritual or marriage or workplace, if you were to, you know, start struggling or whatever and to go through warfare, who is your counsel? Who are you going to go to? Don't wait for these things to jump off before you set this team in place and before you get these people around you. Start doing it right now. So when the war jump off, you got a support structure in place. Now, I didn't have that. I didn't have that when these panic attacks happened and the PTSD and all that stuff. I didn't have that in place, and I suffered for it. You know, I probably stayed in the condition, the state I was in much longer than I should have. And had I had the right team and the right people in place with that balance, this, you know, wouldn't have happened. Give me 1 second. I'm switching my headphones.
And that's so true.
Dead.
Even for everybody, all of you guys out there, what he just said is so true, that, you know, if not having the right people in place, like even if you have people that don't belong or not supporting you, just make sure you do have the few that are in place. So that was very important what you said right now about how not having the right people in place really hurts you. You have to have some of those people there. You know, you definitely do. Are you listening? You can hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I had to
you sound better.
Yeah,
you actually sound better.
Yeah, the AirPods, man, went out. The battery don't last long in them. But we're on the third letter now of champion, right? So the fourth letter, the fourth letter is M, right? And the M stands for mindset. Right? There's a mindset required to become a champion. There's a mindset required for going to the next level. There's a mindset required to be everything that you were intended to be. The word says, be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Right? You got to win the battle right here. Breakthroughs start here. Right? Wherever the mind goes, the body will eventually follow. Whatever the mind possesses, the body and the hands will eventually possess. So we got to get it right in here. We got to understand that with God, all things is possible, and we got to attack life accordingly. Whatever comes in your life, you have to win the battle first there. Now, I got a couple of quotes here that I wrote down. Right thinking sustained long enough will eventually bring peace and order to any situation. We got to get control of our mind. So when the trial jumps off, when the struggle jumps off, the battle, the warfare in your life, the first thing you must do is get behind the steering wheel of your mind. Get control of your thinking. If you get control of your thinking, you won't stay in that season as long as you would if you didn't. Right? Some seasons are going to be, full of struggle, but you determine how long that struggle is, right? The quicker you get control of your mind, the quicker you will come out of that thing. And I wrote down here, in the midst of trial and tribulations, your mindset will make or break you. And I know this firsthand, because that's what happened with the panic attacks. It took over my mind, and I saw the destructive force that the mind could wield upon a person's life. I saw it. I saw the destruction. But at the end of that destruction, I realized, okay, if the mind has the power to destruct, then it must also have the power to construct and to build. So I realized it had to be, possible to go in the other direction with the mind too. So I knew I could rebuild and gain back everything I lost if I got my mind right. Exactly. So I learned that through, the hard way, through the struggle. Now, the next letter is P. It's passion. Right now, contrary to popular belief, you can't think your way to the top. You got to burn your way there with passion. You got to do the thing that makes you feel alive. In your life right now, you need to take every area of your life, your relationships, your work, your family, your children, your spiritual aspect, and rate it 1 to 5. What is my passion level right now? And in my job, are you passionate right now about the job you're doing, or are you just going for the paycheck? You got to start being real with yourself. Be real. Now, greatness requires doing the thing that you are passionate about. And I heard this guy the other day, and I could not disagree with him more. He got up on the stage, in front of all these business people, and he said the worst advice ever given to young people is to follow your passion. And he tried to convince the audience that they should do something else and be practical, blah blah blah, and then try to do their passion down the road, right? But usually a person that is selling that theology and selling that belief system is trying to get you to come work for them so they can do their passion, right? They're trying to get you to come work at something they're passionate about, give up on your dream and work for them. But listen to me, passion is where it's at. To go to the highest levels of success, it has to come by way of fire. Now, the reason people fail when they follow their passion a lot of times, and this is what gives it a bad name, and what he was kind of discussing is, okay, passion is part of it, but then you got to wrap that passion in the other laws too. It's not a standalone law. Like, yeah, I'm passionate about music, let's say, but I still got to wrap my passion around the laws of the music business, of delivery. Like, I've got to find ways inside my passion to deliver value to the world. See, money chases passion. So what a lot of people do that fail is they just focus on the passion itself and don't figure out how to package up in a way that the world actually needs what they're offering, right? So you find your passion, and then you look around and say, okay, now how do I package this up in a way that will give value? Like me, I love personal development. I love psychology. I love history. I love leadership, personal development, right? All these things were there, but I hadn't figured out how to package it up in a way that I could, make a living on it and use it as an actual everyday profession until I got into this. Once motivation came, I said, okay, I love doing motivation. How do I do it? Okay, well, I'll package it up on YouTube. I'll package my passion and my fire up in a book, right? And then I'll package it up and doing these events, going out live, one-on-one, giving value, and the more value that you add, the more money will come. So start with the fire, the passion, and then look for a way to translate that passion over into value.
Listen, you just made it clear. I never knew exactly what it was, but you just made it clear to me. I know all of you out there have heard my story 1,000 times of how Circle of Champions got started, but I just realized right now in this moment, pinpoint what it was. And, for a long time, I was going the very logical, practical way and making sure, my biggest need is security. I need security in my life. So I made sure I did everything I needed to do to have security, to have, I have my money, I have my stuff, I have everything secure, right? But what was missing was what you just said, and you just made it so clear as to why it is that your videos had such a big impact on me. And it's because you gave me permission to live in my passion. Right when I needed to hear those videos, like you said, God put those videos. I don't even know how I just was listening to YouTube and I heard it. And then from there was so much fire in your message that then I just kept listening to it. And it came right at the right moment when I was just with no passion. I had lost my passion for what I was doing. I just felt like there was nothing. I would just wake up and do the same thing over and over. And I wasn't giving myself permission to do what I wanted to do for 2 years before that, which was give birth to Circle of Champions. And listening to your videos was like medicine. It was the medicine to give me the permission to just push that out. And February 10th of 2019, which was from December to February 10th, I listened to those videos. And February 10th, I did Circle of Champions. everyone most of the people out here know this story already because I say it 1,000 times, but it was through the videos. But now I know why. It's because of what you just said. The videos gave me permission to do something out of passion instead of doing stuff out of logic. So that was sort of what you just said right now. Like a lot of us out here function off of, well, what's the right thing I need to do and stuff like that. But you're saying like you have to do things out of passion, and you give the example of the school, and that just like sort of like gave me a big like a aha moment. I'm like, Ashley, you're out there. Like Ashley's listening to, but it's so true. That's what it is. You gave me permission to do Circle of Champions, which has become my passion. And look what, ever since I did that, I've met like, I don't even know how many people I've met, over 1,000 people. Like so many people have just like, I have vacuumed everybody into my, like all these people energetically matching me have shown up ever since I did this. So anyway, thank you.
We were programmed in school most of the time by the teachers and the people we had around us, whether it be family members. We were programmed to suppress that fire, to put that fire out and say, like, just be practical. Or when you're in school, like, what job do you want to do? Like we thought of it as a job instead of what excites you. That was the question. What job do you want to do instead of what really sets you on fire? What can you not live without doing? And I'm proof of that. That this principle works. It's not just hearsay and some, we're just throwing out stuff that we, like possibility or theory. This is real stuff. Like when I got into motivation, I didn't have anything. I had lost everything from the panic attacks, right? So when I came into this and I started getting on the mic, I just turned up. I just lit the fire. I had no resources. I had no team. I had no assets, no staff, no nothing, no resources, no money-wise, nothing. I started literally with nothing but fire, and you can too. When I turned up, the fire, as I say on the video, set yourself on fire and the world will come see you burn. Because it's so rare nowadays to see somebody who's truly on fire for what they do. When you light up, everybody, looks at you like you're magnetic, because really you're just doing the thing that everybody was called to do in their own way, is to be who they were designed to be. But most people are just not bold enough to do it. So part of success of being a champion is unlearning what we have learned in order to become all that we can become. Now, what I mean by that unlearning is, like you said, I gave you permission, right? The video gave you permission to let go of a belief that did not serve you any longer. The belief that you couldn't do your passion and couldn't make money at it. You had to let go of that belief.
So now everybody out there, like right now, we need to give everyone permission to live in their passion. And
that's right.
Life is so short. Like, well, I don't want to get into that one, but because then I get in a whole rant about that. But life is so short. Like, we don't have a minute to waste of not living in our passion. And so Elke says, I love your energy, Billy and Sarai. And it's so amazing to see all the blessings unfold with the fire, when the fire is ignited. That's Ashley.
Amen.
Amen. I think you paid her to say that.
Amen. Now, the next letter after passion is identity. It's identity. Now, the word said, let me go to the word, the scripture. I'm going to quote scripture because it says, some people out there need to hear this.
Yeah.
You've never been told this right here, but you are a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, and people of his own possession, that you may proclaim the excellencies of him who called you out of the darkness into his marvelous light. Each one of you in there that are listening to us right now, you are a champion. You are king or you are queen. You come from a mighty royal God and you are a descendant of him. Don't settle for anything less than royal. Don't settle for anything less than you deserve and what that you belong to, that is your birthright. You have greatness in you. Get up every single day and step out there and pursue that thing. Do what you've been called to do. Now, I give you an example. This greatness and success, you have to show ID to get it. It's like when, I send out books every day. I've got tons of orders for my book that I, ship out. And every now and then somebody will put a wrong address or something like that, and it'll get returned to me. And I'll get a little notice in the mail, like, come pick this package up, right? There's a package for you. So I'll go to the post office to get this package. That's mine. It has my name on it, right? It came to me. But the post office will not give me that package until they know it's me, until I pull out my identity and I say, hey, this is me. This is who I am. And until you know who you are, success cannot come across that counter from the post office into your hands. Do you understand that? You have to pick up success by way of identity. It's already been there. God said it was finished. Christ said on the cross, it is finished. All the victory, the healing, whatever your struggle is, it's already done. But it takes a acknowledgement and an awareness of an identity in order to pick up what is already yours. You got to go get what is yours. Understand your identity. And I'm going to circle back one more time because somebody needs to hear this. The word says you are fearfully and wonderfully made.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the world is going to tell you the opposite. You're too fat, you're too skinny, you're the wrong color, wrong religion, come across the wrong tracks, didn't go to the right school, whatever. All of those are lies. You are fearfully and wonderfully made for what God has designed you to do. You are perfectly made, strategically designed for success. Buy into that. You're going to need that identity if you want to go to the next level. You got to have it.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Okay.
Come on. Somebody needs to hear that. Somebody needs to hear that out right now. Somebody needs to hear that. Now I'm going to move to the next letter. It's O. Right. It's called ownership. Now, once you dream the dream, you know, you set your sight on a goal. You want to be this person, whatever it is, you've got to own it. Listen to me. There's a difference between wishing and hoping for success and owning it. Now, the ones that go to the next level, you know, I study the greats, been studying for almost 20 years now. I just obsessed with studying the lives of great men and women who have impacted the world. And every one of them have this in common. They don't lease the dream. They don't rent the dream. They don't Airbnb the dream. They own it. And by owning the dream, eventually that dream has to come because you're the owner of that dream. Right. You got to own it. You've got to own the dark. Here's the other thing too, because when you start out doing something really, really big, and you're maybe at the bottom and you say, well, how in the world am I going to get way up there? That just seems impossible. And what I call the dark, the place between where you are now and where you want to go. And there's no evidence that you're ever going to get there. It's just dark. You don't see any fruit in your life suggesting that you're going to make it. You have to keep moving forward, owning the dark and say, I don't need to see with my physical eyes any evidence or proof that my dream is going to come to fruition. I see it in my mind, and that is enough. And I will own the dark until the outside world begins to reflect and begins to illuminate and show you what you have came for. Exactly. Right. So own the dream. No more leasing. 2021 is about owning. No more leasing, no more wishing, no more hoping, no more begging. Begging don't move God. Faith does. You got to own it. Come on now. Now, the last thing, we're going to end out with the end. Some people need this step probably more than anything.
I'm holding back from talking because, you know, I want to keep talking, but go. Go. I was over here 2 hours. More stuff.
The last letter is N, and it's never quit. Never quit. Now listen to me. I put this quote out today on my community. It said, failure and defeat both need your permission. Oh, somebody needs to hear that. Now, you can take failure, what other people call failure, reframe your circumstances, and you rob it of its power. And what should have held you back can actually become the rocket fuel that puts your dream in orbit. Never, ever, ever quit. Refuse to concede to any other outcome than the one you set out for. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care how bleak it is. I don't care what the doctor report is, what the financial report is, what the boss man said. Never quit on the dream that God put on the inside of you. Get up every single day and trust God to make that thing a reality. He won't fail you. Anybody who's willing to buy in and believe in the dream, the future will not make you out a liar. Come on now. Somebody needs to hear this. Somebody needs to hear this. Yes. Somebody needs to hear this. I'll give you a good example. Jan Kuhn. He put a resume in for Facebook. He was a software developer, IT tech, trying to work as a staff member there at Facebook. Facebook didn't hire him. They rejected him, did not hire him. This man went off and started WhatsApp and sold it back to Facebook for $19 billion. He did not quit because he got no. See, success is about how many times you can hear the word no and keep going. The ones that go to the next level heard no 1,000, thousands, and thousands of times, but it did not deter them. It only made them hungrier. See, when you hear the word no, what is your response? That will reveal to the world who you really are. It's how you respond when you hear the word no. Do you get hungrier? Do you get more focused? Do you get more determined, or does it deter you and you start, cutting your energy level and start giving up and start conceding to things that you shouldn't be conceding to? Come on now. I read this thing where this lady, Miss Cha, it was so inspiring. This lady from South Korea was going to get her driver's license, the written driver's license, part of the equation. And she kept failing the written test. She failed the test 949 times before she passed it. Now, every single day, let me show you how. This is what a champion gets up and does. Every day, this lady got up, an older lady. She got up, paid the money to take the bus across town, paid the money to take the test, to fail it, to take the bus back home. Now, she did this every single day, 5 days a week for almost 3 years before she got it. Now, the question is, how many no's can you take before you give up?
Right.
How many times can you fail before you throw the white towel in or wave the white flag? That's what's going to determine how far you go in life. The enemy gets up every single day and says, what does it take to break you? If I put cancer on your body, if I attack your kids, and if I break up the marriage, if I put them in jail, or if I get them fired, or whatever it is, if I have somebody real close to them betray them, will they give up? The enemy's asking this question every day. What's your breaking point? What's your breaking point? Come on.
The answer has to be giving up is not part of it can't even be part of your vocabulary.
That's right.
Just gotta keep going and going. Everybody out there, I'm looking at you.
There's a verse that I stood on when times were hard, and let us not grow weary when doing good, for in due season we shall reap. See, it's a season. So you might be going through the season of darkness, the season of struggle, but hey, there's another season coming. Right? You're always moving either toward a struggle or coming out of one. Right? So you just got to understand it and say, this too will pass. I'm going to outlast whatever the enemy throws at me. I will never tap out. As long as I got breath in me, I am still coming. I'm still moving. I'm still pursuing that dream. And you got to get that mentality. Failure cannot be an option for you. You've got to dedicate yourself and attack life that way and go all in. As I say on the videos, 120 beast mode, all in, nothing less. You can't halfway, half step, tiptoe to success.
And not giving into the no's goes back to owning the dark.
That's right.
If you don't give in to the no's, if you just keep going regardless of the no's and go, okay, there's a no, it's just getting me closer to my yes. That's just you really owning the dark.
That's right.
You were gonna say something?
No, that's it.
Because you're about to say something and I cut you off. But the other thing about the dark is, I was saying this story the other day. Like, guys, you're gonna laugh, but I lived in Kansas for 2 whole years. 2 whole years, and in Kansas, there are no street lights. There are only hills, and there's always fog, and it's always cold. At least that's how I experienced it, because I'm from Miami, so I'm not used to 60 is cold. But when I used to go over the hills, and it would be dark, and it would be so much fog, I would always be terrified, even though I knew that the road has to keep going. But that's part of owning the dark, like what you were saying. You have to, the more you step into it and the more you keep going, the more that's going to be illuminated for you, the more that's going to be revealed for you. And you'll know you have to trust and have the faith that you're saying that you're not just going to fall into the abyss. Because while I was driving, I would always wonder, oh my God, is there going to be an abyss right after the, I would go into a panic because I wouldn't be able to see anything. But isn't that how life is? Don't we go into panics when we see we don't know the answers. We know what we want, but the thing is that we don't need to know the answers. So that's something I want everyone to know too. But based off everything you're saying, part of owning the dark and faith, all the letters you gave, the whole champion thing is, if I could wrap it all up, it's it's a little bit of consistency. It's owning the dark. It's having faith. It's keep going, even though the no's are there. Just keep going and going, and more will be revealed to you. What if the no's are just making you stronger? The no's are not the no's, but the no's are necessary. They're necessary for you to build your character, to build your strength. It's just all of this is so important. And I don't want to call anybody out there, but I'm looking at your all your little bubble faces, and I know you all needed to hear this. So
sometimes the no's aren't no's for us, they're no's for others, to keep us away from people that don't belong in our situation. If somebody was to say yes that wasn't supposed to be in our life, we just open something. So sometimes those no's are not hey, your talent's not good, or the dream is wrong, or whatever the situation might be. Sometimes the no is multidimensional and affecting other things, and we see it sometimes and personalize it when we shouldn't. We should just say, this is one step closer to me finding the exact place that I should be. Right now, I'm going to close with a couple of these little quotes right here for this step. For one, it says, greatness stalks those who persevere. Greatness is going around all day and say, who will stick it out? who will get knocked down on the mat and just keep getting back up. That's who greatness is looking for. Now, Albert Einstein said this. He said, it's not that I'm so smart. It's just that I'll stay with a problem longer. Come on now. Somebody needs to hear that. See, you might say, well, I don't have the best ability or I don't have the best education. But if you stay focused, if you stay hyper-focused every single day and get up, do the same thing that you want to do just over and over and over and over until you outlast your competition, or you keep applying pressure onto the world until it begins to fold and concede to what you are projecting upon it. That's what you got to do. Now, Hannibal, the great general, now, this is what he said. We will either find a way or we will make one. Somebody needs to hear that, because sometimes these doors aren't going to open for you. You're going to have to make your own door. Bang on the door. Right. If they won't open the door, and you can't get through the door, then make your own door. Come on now. Somebody needed to hear that. Now, the last thing I want to leave you with is.
That's what I did because of you.
Come on now.
I was like, I'm gonna make events. That's it.
That's right.
I'm not gonna be an event person.
That's what I did too, because I got, I started doing the motivation, and I love speaking so much. The bookings were coming in. I was getting really, paid good to do the bookings. But I wanted to speak every day. I wanted to speak every week, and I wanted to speak where I wanted to speak. Right. So I hated just waiting on a phone call, being at the mercy of the phone calls to come in for the bookings. I'm like, why do we got to do that? Let's just build our own thing, right? So last year we did 20 something cities, even with COVID, and this year we got 27 cities circling the globe. We got behind the wheel. And the way I'm doing it now is I don't gotta wait. Yeah, I don't have to knock on some door and beg some company to let me speak. You know what I mean? I don't have to do that. I took it to the world, man, and now they come to us. Right. But you got to be willing to step out like that and make your own door. Because when I stepped out like that, nobody was doing it in speaking. Nobody was doing their own tours, doing like what we just did here, like a full, basically, this is like a rock and roll tour, 27 cities. Like nobody in this field was doing it.
Think about it. What do you got to lose to take control and do it yourself? You don't have anything to lose. Like you really have nothing to lose. There's nothing to lose when you're creating.
That's right. And the only thing we got to do is to lose is days not doing what you were called to do. That's the biggest loss. Now, let me close out with this. It says, those who displayed genius, those who projected greatness, those who arose from nothing to become something were at first laughed at, doubted, and made fun of. The rejection of the world did not stop them, though. It merely intensified their desire to overcome the struggle and ascend to even higher levels of achievement. Somebody needs to hear that, because you're getting laughed at right now. Come on, let's be real. You told somebody your dream and they laughed at you. I don't know who it is, but you're listening right now. Somebody laughed at you, didn't you? And you wanted to give up. You was like, "Oh, am I crazy? Well, maybe I should just stop and maybe, I'm just dreaming." Right. No. I'm confirmed right now.
And they
your dream.
They either laughed at you or they're like, "Really? You think
That's
you're
right?
Do that?
Don't let anybody shake you out of your dream. Don't let anybody shake you out of your inheritance, your greatness. That is yours. Go seize it. Somebody needs to hear me. Come on, stop settling way below what you're capable of. Where in your life right now are you settling where you shouldn't be? That's the question for 2021. Stop settling. Get out there and live. Set yourself on fire. Do what God has called you to do. This is your year. We're going to make this year your year.
Hey guys, you guys see Billy Alsbrooks is already on fire. Look, his whole room is on fire. Look at all the red back there.
Right. So you got to create an environment for success. They said red is the level for passion and intensity. So I paint my whole environment. That's what I want to live on. I want to live passionate. So I painted it red. That's how we do.
Listen, I want to also end with two things. For one thing is, this is super funny. Sam says he got Sarai blood.
That is good.
Because I don't know who's louder here or more. And then the other thing was, I wanted to end with Matt, that he said, I'm so excited for January 24th. Guys, if you haven't gotten your ticket and you're in Miami, or, Sam, you're just over across the sea right there. You can just hop on over here. Like, just go out and get your ticket, guys. I know you all. I'm looking at you guys. You're all in Circle of Champions, so you're gonna get special pricing for Circle of Champions. It's in Miami. If you're not in Miami, you could also come down here too, because we got some good weather.
For real, if you're watching this, you're somewhere up north stuck in the snow. There's no better place to be in January than Miami. I tell you that, on the beach. Come on, we downtown Miami, right across from the beach, right over there. Come on down, get some of this Florida sunshine. January 24th is going down, and as she mentioned, we got a special rate because you're Circle of Champion members. You know, the standard ticket price is $99.99. For Circle of Champion is $79.97. So you get the discount for just being a part of this. We want to help you become everything that you can be this year. This is our anointing, this is our calling, this is our passion. Sarai, Jake, Jeremy, all of us. This is what we do. Barry Overton, he'll be there too. All these people, this is their calling, is to help you achieve what you are capable of achieving, your real potential. And we are so passionate about it. We're not just coming there for money, man. We're coming there to bring it. From the time from 12 o'clock to 5 o'clock, and it's gonna go on because I can't stop. Once I get going, I'll just keep pouring out info that'll rock your world. I promise you, God speaks through me. He'll put the words in my mouth directly to you, exactly what you need to hear. And when you leave this meeting from hearing us speak, all the speakers are gonna be, I promise you, your life will be different. Make the commitment. Make the commitment.
I guess what I have 30 minutes to talk, and you guys know I could go on for like 3 hours. So I don't know how I'm gonna do that, but yeah. So anyway, guys, I want you to all be there. I forgot I was gonna say something else, and I don't remember what it was. But anyway,
you got the link for them, right?
Yes, up here it says get your ticket at blessedandunstoppable.com. It's easy to remember. So I want you guys all to be there. Oh, that's what it was. I saw Jeremy right now throwing fire, and that's what I wanted to say. Tomorrow, I'm going to be doing Thrive Talk with Jeremy Davis, who is also going to be one of the speakers. So you all need to show up tomorrow as well. And I got to get off here pretty soon because Rayman is going to be upset if I'm not on time to our thing. So see you guys. You want to say one last thing? One last fire?
Yeah, I'm gonna say this: to God be the glory. We come into Miami, we're gonna rock and shake it. We're gonna help make you blessed and unstoppable in 2021. This is gonna be your best year ever. Make the commitment to yourself. Get the ticket. I promise you, you won't regret it. I promise you, you won't regret it. Trust me.
Good night, everyone. Bye. Oh, see you in a minute.